Hello, good evening and welcome to the program. And coming up in the next 2 hours, pressure group Occupy Ghana hints it will take the case of businessman Alfred Woyome in the 51 million cedis judgment debt saga to the Supreme Court following the discontinuation of the case by the Attorney General. Members of Parliament fighting over a pension package and enhanced working conditions as they draw attention to conditions awaiting them when they exit the House.
Many members come to Parliament very rich and go out of Parliament very, very poor. And it's an established fact. The public may disagree, but that is a fact.
And coming up in business, some commercial banks withdraw support to licensed buying companies to purchase cocoa.
All this and more coming up. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Arba Kumsi. Now, pressure group Occupy Ghana has hinted it will take the case of businessman Alfred Woyome in the 51 million cedi judgment debt saga to the Supreme Court. It follows the Attorney General's decision to discontinue the case against Mr. Woyome. The AG's department notice of discontinuation was dated 26 October 2016. Per the earlier notice, the Attorney General would have orally examined Mr. Woyome on November 10, 2016. But in a swift reaction, Occupy Ghana expressed shock, horror and disgust at the Attorney General's decision. In a statement it issued today, the group writes, "We heard that after the order was obtained and served on Mr. Woyome, immense pressure was brought to bear on the Attorney General's department to abandon that process. The key concern we learned had to do with Woyome being compelled to disclose how he spent, quote, our money, because the answer to that question would reveal the names of all the persons who benefited from our money," unquote. A member of Occupy Ghana, Johnny Bluku Nonu, joins me now for more on this. Good evening and thanks for your time.
Thank you too.
Now, you say that a huge pressure was brought to bear on the AG's department to abandon, the move to question Mr. Woyome, because by doing so, he may be compelled to reveal the names of all the persons who benefited from that amount of money. This is a serious allegation. What proof do you have to back it?
Yes, but you see, it is not everything that can be put orally in the public domain, okay? Don't forget that Occupy Ghana has its own sources of intelligence within the Ghanaian society. Now, if you recall, on the 25th of October 2016, we issued a statement urging the Attorney General not to discontinue this proceedings, which had been earmarked for the 10th of November. Why did we do this? Why did we do this? On the 26th of October, it's now turned out the Attorney General, only one day, 24 hours after our statements, files a notice to discontinue. Why? Why? It had gone to the court as a public defender, defending the public purse, acting on behalf of Ghanaians, to get this precious application granted. Okay? Why would it suddenly discontinue this method of oral examination of Mr. Alfred Woyome?
We haven't gotten any official, Mr. Nono, we haven't gotten any official explanation from the Attorney General's department, but what we have learned is that the department does not have any evidence to, push this particular case, which is why they have been forced to discontinue it.
Let this come out in court. Why do you surrender before you go to court? Okay, these proceedings are just to ask Woyome. Woyome received 51 million. Where did the money go? What did you do? I bought a car with it. I bought a house. I took a vacation with it. The sources of the spending is also determined in the interest of Ghana in order to try and recover our money what his other sources of income are, which we can use to defray some of this debt. If he has an asset that the state can sell, if he has income from somewhere, if he has debts owed to him, all of these are used in this method. This was a very precious case also to be used in tracing where the money went for the purpose of helping the Republic of Ghana retrieve this money.
Very well. Now, Mr. Nonu, what happens from here? I understand that Occupy Ghana is considering taking up the matter at the Supreme Court.
The matter is not a lost case. The case is still before the court. As you know, Citizen Vigilante, who has been a sole and a lone
You're referring to
crusader,
former Attorney General, Mr. Martin Amidu.
Martin Amidu still has an interest in this case. He can cross-examine Woyome with regard to these points I've enumerated. The court itself can invoke its inherent jurisdiction of asking Woyome based on what happens in court with Martin Amidu. And we might elicit some information from this.
Is Occupy Ghana itself...
It's not something, you see, this process is not something to be toyed with or dealt with. The right word isn't coming. But it's a grave matter. It's a grave matter, and it's shocking to any fair-minded person that on such a platform that Attorney General suddenly says, "Oh, I'm not going to try and get the money from Mr. Woyome." It's painful, to say the least.
Thank you very much. That is a member of pressure group Occupy Ghana, Johnny Blaku Nonu there. And still on this matter, the opposition New Patriotic Party has issued a statement on the matter. The party says it is horrified and saddened by the report that the Attorney General is not able to pursue anymore the retrieval of taxpayers' monies paid to Mr. Alfred Woyome as far back as 2010. The NDC government itself, as far back as 2009, has admitted the payments to Mr. Woyome were wrong, unjustified and undeserved, but no NDC official involved in this gargantuan loss of taxpayers' monies has been punished or prosecuted. Per the solo efforts of Mr. Martin Amidu, the Supreme Court in 2014 ordered that the monies should be retrieved, describing the payment as a scheme to create, loot and share taxpayers' money. The MPP cannot let this corruption and wanton loss of taxpayers' monies just go by. We demand that President Mahama and his government retrieve the full value of our monies. Otherwise, the party intends to lead Ghanaians in street protests. Create, loot and share cannot be rewarded. President Mahama must account for our monies or be shown the red card. And that is a statement signed by Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party, Nana Akomia. Now, 7,500 cedis monthly salary, a loan to buy a four-wheel drive and an end-of-service benefit are still not enough for members of Parliament exiting the House. For many, poverty and unemployment are dangers awaiting them in an unknown world outside the comfort of the chamber. A tribute to late MP for Hohoe North, Prince Jacob Ahiakpo, brought them to reality, and they're now fighting for a pension package and enhanced working conditions for the legislature.
The issue dominated discussions on the floor when Chairman of the Voter Caucus, Joseph Amenuwode, read a tribute to the late MP, which good members poured their heart out on their conditions. The Speaker of Parliament, Edward Dowajaho, promised to address the problem.
I'm saying that the point of laying, you don't normally debate those matters because when you speak, another person will speak, and then that can create problem. What I'm saying is that I've agreed that the paper, he made an application, it has been withdrawn, the referral will be withdrawn. That will pave way for him to relay the new one, which is on the other paper attempting. When we come for the debate, then anybody I thought that wants to raise any issue.
So how dreadful can exiting Parliament be for outgoing MPs? Parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe put that question to MP for Shai Osudoku, David Tete Esuming, who is exiting in January.
The plight of members of Parliament outside here is very pathetic. My brother, if you happen to meet any of the former members of Parliament, I mean, you have serious issue or concern to worry about.
Why is it so?
Well, I think it's all because, as a member of Parliament, when you live here, you are not considered for any employment. I mean, you are unemployable.
Why?
I can't just tell. But it's like
nobody
society
wants to employ you.
Yes, nobody wants to employ you. I mean,
is it because they cannot pay you or you are not suitable for any job?
No, maybe the perception of members when they are here. People think that members of Parliament are well-to-do, and by their nature or their status, you cannot, take them on board in terms of, employment. But it's not the best.
Nurses and midwives across the country have sent a caution message to government to address their concerns or see them withdraw OPD services. The action in the form of wearing red armbands is part of an ultimatum given government to solve issues such as the out-of-court settlement of second-tier pension scheme issues and payment of student nurses' allowances. The action will end on Sunday, after which their services would be offered to only emergency cases. A further refusal of government to heed their request will cause them to withdraw emergency services. Hannah Odame has more.
We've made our grievances known to the government, and then up to now we've not heard anything. So now we are using the red band as a sign of caution to the ministry and the government that they should come to our grievances. We are doing the red band from now to 6th. We are still doing our OPD services. By from 6th, if we don't hear anything, we'll be withdrawing OPD services only to emergency services.
Let's go to the substantive issue. What exactly are your problems?
The first thing is that our arrears. We have arrears issues. Some people are working and their arrears are not back. Promotional arrears. That's another thing that we are fighting for. And then we have issue with the intention letters that we pay for that form. Meanwhile, we want to go to school and get the knowledge and come and help the ministry or the service. And then our arrears, some people are working and they have only 3 months salary. The rest is not being paid for almost 10 months. Some are working without their salary. And it's very difficult. And then we have the graduate nurses who are at home and they're not giving the employment. There are shortage everywhere. We need them to come and support us.
On the 6th of November, if you don't hear any good news, I call it good news, you're going to withdraw OPD services.
Yes, if we don't get any feedback, any successful feedback, then we withdraw all OPD services and then we attend to emergencies. After emergencies, and then we don't hear anything, and we draw out.
Now, this feedback you're asking for, it's a lot because you're demanding about 6-7 things. Are you requesting all of these to be fulfilled at once?
Yes, please.
You're watching Joy News Prime, and still to come, flag bearer of Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, courts organized labor asking them to vote for a leader who has a proven track record of creating jobs like himself. Details after this break. You're welcome back. Now, for many drivers, the congestion at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle was a nightmare experience, but now commuters and drivers alike can heave a sigh of relief as work is almost complete on the new 3-tier interchange. Ahead of its commissioning, work is speedily progressing on the mini Kwame Nkrumah Park close to the interchange. The park hosts a huge statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, a beautiful fountain and lights. The old bus terminal, which gets muddy after slight drizzles, will also give way to a new bus terminal. Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba visited the new interchange ahead of the commissioning and filed the following report.
If it's
been a long time that you visited the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. This is what the new 3rd-tier Kwame Nkrumah Interchange looks like. It is one that you need to see with your own eyes. The infrastructure and the construction of this beautiful edifice is one that you need to see for yourself. On my right-hand side is construction ongoing right now. It is a construction of a statue. That statue is done. It is a statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the man who gave independence for Ghana. This is the Kwame Nkrumah Park here at the Circle Interchange. Authorities here would not allow us to take full footage of the place. They tell us that we should come later in the evening where they'll be doing a display of the beautiful lighting and fountains here at this park. But right behind me is a statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It's positioned very well so that if you're in any part of the interchange, you can see it. Here at this park, contractors are busily working. We can see a lot of earth-moving machines right here. Well, we have some Ghanaians who are here just watching as the construction is going on. It looks like a tourist site for a lot of them.
That's what I say is wonderful thing. I will not see some in Africa. And your mama love Ghana, love Nkrumah too. So we believe that your mama is a good leader.
Very, very fantastic. I don't know what to say. If we are able to have every president who have a focus like this, so far, so good.
The new Circle, new plant station, or Donna station to be specific, is going to be ready on the 15th of November. But let's go inside there and have interactions with the secretary of the GPRTU Odona branch. He's going to tell us exactly what this place is going to be like after the completion of the bus station. And I'm talking about the Odona lorry station.
This is the only station in Accra here that runs 24 hours. So wherever you want to go, just pop into Circle, then we'll get your car to your destination. Yeah.
But some say that if you have all of those cars loading from here, it looks like this place is a bit small and will not be able to contain the huge number of trotros that we have.
You see, we've got a plan so that when we see that the place is going full, we've got a landing bay behind the local station. So we park some of the cars there.
Oh, okay. So not all the cars will park here?
So we call you when there's a space. We thank the government for upgrading this place for us. We thank you very much.
For Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba.
Very impressive. Well, President John Mahama says government is committed to addressing traffic congestion in the capital, Accra. Speaking at the official opening of the Burma Camp Airport Hills bypass, President Mahama said government intends to invest some 60 million cedis to provide more roads in the capital to ease congestion. There's more in this report by Joseph Akable.
The newly constructed bypass will aid commuters heading to Spintex, Airport Hill and Teshi to get to their destination in time, avoiding what used to be a heavy vehicular traffic along those routes. The president, apart from commissioning that bypass, also opened the Burma Camp 1 and 2 roads and also performed a groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a flyover above the motorway towards Adjingano. Another flyover will be constructed over the motorway towards Ashaiman. President John Mahama says these projects are expected to be completed in 24 months with government as the sole financier.
I want to emphasize that with the 2 additional bridges, the Flower Pot Bridge and the bridge over the motorway, government is financing it with its own resources. We're building it by ourselves. We're not relying on donor funding. Government is building it with its own resources. The scope of the project involves the design and construction of a 105-meter span flyover across the Tema motorway with another 40-meter span bridge across the Spintex Road from Flower Pot Runabout and vehicle interchange points between East Legon on the Shiashi Road. There are 2 more bridges we are going to do. And after we finish this bridge that I talked about, we're going to build another bridge across the motorway from Teshi Link across the motorway to Ajringano. Let me emphasize that the construction of the flyover will be done in such a way that it will not disrupt the traffic flow on either the motorway or the Spintex Road. While the bridges are being built, traffic will not be affected on any of the 2 roads, Spintex or motorway. It's been estimated that these new works will be completed within the next 24 months. We expect that they will be earlier and at an estimated cost of a little above 60 million Ghana cedis.
President Mahama is expected to commission other projects in the capital in the coming days.
We're taking a short break. We'll be back with business news. You're welcome back. Time for business now. And Emmanuel Abuaje, I beg your pardon. I guess I'm so.
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, I'm sure you saw the interchange, the story that Maxwell Agbagba filed about the interchange. Work is progressing, steadily on it.
It's
really spectacular.
The landscape of
it is wonderful, and my only wish is that we maintain it so it looks as new as it does look right now in about 10-20 years.
I really hope it really serves the purpose for which it was constructed, by easing traffic and congestion, and the fact that businesses around, the micro businesses, also do not, hang around.
Yeah, you can see the shot of the interchange.
Very beautiful.
Yeah,
very beautiful
on your
indeed.
screens. Anyway.
It's a drone shot.
It is. Anyway, so what's in business?
Well, in business, some commercial banks have withdrawn their guarantees for licensed buying companies for the purchase of cocoa.
All right, give us the details.
All right, so thank you very much for joining me on business. Some commercial banks have withdrawn guarantees extended to licensed cocoa buying companies to aid the purchases of cocoa beans. But how could this development affect the entire cocoa industry? There's more in the following report.
Joy Business is learning that some of the banks took the action following the collapse of one of the giants in the industry. This was basically due to the inability of that company to pay back the credit extended to it by some commercial banks in the country. Sources say the decision to cut credit to the sector made it difficult for most of the licensed buying companies to pre-finance cocoa purchases. This is due to Cocoa Board's insistence that every licensed buying company provides guarantee before they can secure part of the $1.8 billion available for cocoa purchase. Some of the companies fear this could result in smuggling of cocoa beans to neighboring Ivory Coast, which could affect the country's overall target of about 900,000 tons of cocoa by the end of the new crop season. Some also fear that it could lead to the collapse of some licensed buying companies, as most of them are now struggling to be in business. But Cocoa Board is insisting the new arrangement is to prevent a situation where some of the companies don't pay back the loan on time, whilst others divert it to other areas.
You're welcome back. Now, flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, is courting organized labor to encourage its members to vote for a leader who has a proven track record of creating jobs, just like himself. The PPP flag bearer said this when he met members of the Trades Union Congress Wednesday in Accra. His interaction with organized labor comes 2 days after members of the TUC interacted with flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Akufo-Addo. Ernest Menu reports.
Welcoming the PPP, Secretary General of the TUC, Dr. Anthony Ban, revealed that Dr. Indum was the first to seek audience with the TUC and described their victory in the case with the EC a victory for Ghana's democracy and a sign of confidence in the judiciary. The PPP flag bearer expressed worry in the speedy passage of loans in Parliament and called for due diligence.
Also, we don't want MPs also working as ministers of state. I have been there before. I was an MP when I was not a minister. I was a minister when I was not an MP. And I was an MP and a minister. And I know it doesn't work to combine the two. It doesn't work. The work is so much that you can't combine the two. Not only that, you can't go and sit there with the president, go and dream up of all sorts of things, then come to Parliament and sit with them and argue with them and force your case to pass. And that is why getting to the end of every term of Parliament, some strange transactions are brought to Parliament at the last minute, and Parliament passes them with some influence. And so if it is CNTCI loan, that's how it came.
On the issue of job creation, Dr. Indum said he had shown enough commitment, citing the opening of a rice factory today in Raura in the Volta region as the latest proof.
Farmers who didn't have a market, now if they bring a sack of paddy rice today, that rice mill will buy it. They didn't even have enough there. So we had to go to the northern region to bring paddy rice. So you go there today, they are milling rice. It is good rice. It's polished, everything. And from next week, you'll see it on the market.
Now, the 2016 presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, says recent utterances by President Mahama, coupled with his actions and inactions over the last 8 years, point to a man who appears to have little understanding of democracy. According to him, President Mahama's comments on Tuesday in the Eastern region where he was campaigning and where he warned Ghanaians against continually changing incumbent governments to try new ones was unfortunate. Nana Akufo-Addo was addressing residents of Denchira Obuasi in the Upper Denchira West constituency in the Central region on Wednesday. Let's speak to our correspondent, Richard Kojunyako, for more on this. Good evening to you, Richard.
Good evening.
What else has the MPP flag bearer been saying?
Well, just as you intimated, the MPP flag bearer has been telling party supporters that he finds it very weird that the president, it looks as if that the president does not accept that he would get down if he is voted against in the December elections. Because according to him, utterances made by the president recently leaves much to be desired. And utterances made by some party supporters and party bigwigs of the NDC leave much to be desired. And so he's urging party supporters to vote overwhelmingly for the New Patriotic Party come so that there wouldn't be any qualms about the electoral victory that they will chalk. There's also been urging party supporters not to vote against the parliamentary candidate because they want the voting part or the voting that will come on December 7th to be very overwhelming and consistent. So they've been speaking, Nanado, Alan Kojechiamanti and Dr. Kofi Apreku have been taking party supporters. So today, Nanado went to Solar FM, a local radio station based in the Upper Denchira East constituency, and he's been advising party supporters. From here, Nanado would be going to the University of Cape Coast tomorrow, and he will be addressing students and lecturers.
And Kojo, earlier we understand that earlier today, whilst addressing supporters, he criticized the government for what he called putting the country in an accountability crisis, or that the NDC has an accountability crisis. What did he mean by that?
Exactly. What he meant by that is that there are so many projects that the government says it has done. There are so many loans that the government has accepted, oil money and all of that one. But in all of these projects that the government claims that it has undertaken, they have not rendered proper account to the people of Ghana. Now, he says that some of the projects, the cost that they didn't mention, the cost can even build twice that infrastructure or that project that has been done. And he is telling that all of these things, they hinge on leadership. If Ghanaians have a proper or good leadership, all of these things wouldn't happen. And he's promising them that he's going to run a transparent and an accountable government so that there wouldn't be qualms and issues about the projects that are undertaken and the costs associated with such projects. And so basically, that is what he meant by accountability crisis the country finds itself in.
All right, many thanks. And that's Richard Kojunyako bringing us an update on the NPP flag bearers campaign in the Central Region. The Office of the National Health Insurance Authority in the Upper East Region has, with effect from Tuesday, November 1, rolled out the capitation provider payment mechanism. Under the mechanism, clients will now seek healthcare at one particular health center, which they voluntarily choose as their preferred primary care provider for a period of at least 6 months. At a press briefing in Bolgatanga Tuesday, Director of the Upper East Regional NHIA said the rollout of the capitation provider payment mechanism will introduce managed competition for providers. Upper East correspondent Albert Soris' report is read to you.
It is a payment mechanism in which healthcare providers who accept NHRA clients are paid in advance, a predetermined fixed rate to provide defined set of services for each individual enrolled with the provider for a fixed period of time. The amount paid to the provider is irrespective of whether that person would seek care or not during the designated period. Under the Ghana capitation model, clients will seek health care at one particular health center, which they voluntarily chose during registration as their preferred primary care provider or PPP. A client can only have one PPP at a time, which they can change only after 6 months. At a press briefing in Bolgatanga on Tuesday, Director of the Upper East Regional National Health Insurance Authority, Sebastian Alangbolingsa, said after piloting capitation for some time, it has now been officially rolled out.
The sustainability of the insurance scheme is dear to the heart of everybody, because health is an asset to everybody and to every nation. This is clearly informing on the numerous innovations the management of the authority is pursuing to make the scheme a success. Mr. Chairman, one of these innovations is the capitation, which is an alternative payment method available to us as managers of the scheme. This method of payment is a predetermined fixed rate which is paid in advance to providers to provide a defined set of services for each individual enrolled with the provider for a fixed period of time. We have gotten to the final stage of capitation in the region. We have been together during the sensitization stage to PPP selection. Now we want to roll out capitation finally, where people will have to go to their preferred primary care providers for health care effective November 2016. 1st November 2016.
Political parties must desist from substituting polling station agents after training. That's a caution from electoral officer, the Ashanti Regional Directorate of the Electoral Commission, Matilda Kwarteng. She indicates the practice could be the cause of many cases of misunderstanding at polling stations during elections. Prince Appiah has more in the following report.
I'm disappointed that it's proven that he's a liar, that the NDC had given me money.
Madam Kwarteng spoke at a forum in Kumasi for political parties and other election stakeholders. It was organized by NGO Good Governance Africa. Political parties at the forum confirmed the practice and agreed it is not in the interest of the public. They, however, explain it is to protect agents from being influenced by opponents.
GCPP flag bearer Dr. Henry Latte is threatening court action against former President Rawlings on claims he was bribed by elements in the NDC to undertake a smear campaign. According to him, his action has been triggered by the posturing of the former president, whom he describes as a man peddling falsehood. He's of the view former President Rawlings has perpetrated too much corruption to be walking a free man.
I'm disappointed that it's proven that he's a liar, that the NDC had given me money to disgrace him. And I said, how much money was given to me? Because I'm going to let my lawyers take him to court to try and defame me. What money? How much? Who gave me that money? This is the reason why, one of the reasons why I'm chasing Rawlings, because he did something that shouldn't have been done, and he's walking away free. But the most important one is the corruption that has erupted. He chased people for saying that he had received £5 million from Abacha. Kweku Bakun had to put in jail. I don't know that too. Now, years later, when you come and say, oh, you received $2 million. We are asking questions. He should come and answer the questions. He is the victim. He is the one who's caused all this. He said he's received $2 million. Did we say that he's lying? He said, come and tell us. Is it really 2? Is it 5? Is it 100? Is it 50? Come and tell us the truth. Since he's a champion for probity and accountability, it's an easy question to ask, for him to answer, isn't it? So tell us the truth. I always ask open-ended questions. And then he got so mad that he's saying that NDC has given me money. So I'm also taking him to court. He should come and prove who gave me the money from the NDC. When are you doing this? When are you proceeding to I'm just giving my lawyer. I'll just tell him tonight. He'll just the case through.
So that is quite deceptive. I mean, if you put somebody's picture on a poster advertising that he's going to perform at an event that
without even informing
informing the person, that's deception. That's deception.
And you know, I got in touch with Ms. Bell because I didn't want to stick to one side of the story. She said, oh, the concert is coming up this weekend. She doesn't want any distraction, and so if he wants to seek redress in court, he's free to do so. So we'll see how things will pan out with this particular story. All right, so let's move on to some other story. You know that before the group VVIP became what it is now, it used to be VIP.
Yeah.
Then it was made up of Zeal, Lazy, and Promzy.
Yeah.
Then Promzy, started going solo, and then there was a break.
Yes.
And now we're trying to find out from Zeal, because Zeal is a Nima guy.
Yeah.
He represents the Nima hood, and that's where Promzy also lived and grew up.
Yeah.
So yes, he's not more a member of your group, but what is the relationship between you and Promzy now?
We have a new one coming next week. It's called After Party. It's actually featuring Stoneboy. And it's gonna be the song for Christmas. Meanwhile, Alaji's doing it already, but we're going to drop another one again.
Aside the fact that your other partner is gone away from the group, do you have a personal relationship? Do you have personal contact with him?
Yeah, everything is good. We're still family. There's no bad blood. It's just one family. It's just that we don't do music no more together. It's possible someday we might do it again. Yeah, everything is cool.
I see. So you get to talk to him?
It's cool, yeah, it's cool like
Hello, welcome to the sports on Prime. I'm Gary Al Smith. We have some boxing, some football. I'll update you on what's happening in the Champions League, and then it's a wrap. First of all, we start with boxing, and Ghana's Richard Comey is billed to meet Russian Denis Shafikov. That bit of news came up just about a week ago. It will be an IBF eliminator on December the 7th, and that will be in Russia. Joy Sport Ifua Santoa also watched Richard Come's training session today and came through with this report on his readiness and preparation.
The 28-year-old Ghanaian boxer has a rich record after winning the Ghanaian lightweight title, International Boxing Federation Continental Africa lightweight title, Africa Boxing Union lightweight title, International Boxing Federation Intercontinental lightweight title, and Commonwealth lightweight title. Comey lost out on the vacant International Boxing Federation lightweight title to American Robert Easter at the Santander Arena in Pennsylvania about 2 months ago. His Russian opponent Denis Shafikov has failed at winning the IBF world title twice. Comey has fully recovered from his defeat and is currently training at the Bronx Gym Club in Accra in preparation for the bout against Shafikov come December.
Yeah, most definitely I've recovered because, you know, I went in there with Robert Easter and give all my heart. So I know in my head, I know I've won. So, you know, things happen in boxing. I've let it go already. As far as I want to be a world champion, I just have to forget about it and then focus on what is ahead of me. Well, ever since I lost to Robert Easter, I had a week rest, and ever since I'm back in the gym training now. So, you know, I know anything could happen very soon. So, after 1 week rest, I just jump in the ring and start preparing. So the IBF who ordered me to fight Shafikov, they've seen the performance I put in the last time, and they've seen what happened there. So I don't think for some reason they will let something like that happen to me again if I ever put in my best as I did with Robert Easter, or even more if I did much more better. I don't think they will sit down and watch this thing happen to me. But you know, like I always believe, it's God that does all my fighting for me, and I believe regardless, even if no Ghanaian has ever gone to Russia and win, with me, I believe in God. I know definitely when I'm coming back with a victory.
You got to give it to Comey. He's a smooth talker, isn't he? So on 25 fights, just lost once. That single one that he lost to Robert Easter back in September, and he's won 22 by knockout. And we wish him the best as he gets ready. In football, women's football really, there will be no Ghanaian female ref when the impending 10th Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon gets underway. Oh, this is an unfortunate development, you have to say, which calls for some sort of scrutiny in female officials in our part of the world. Here's a report.
Ghanaian female referees have struggled for international recognition in the post-Mercy Tegokwaku era. The likes of Christine Enyonam Ziga and assistant Emmanuel Aglago and British Thord have been overlooked. 11 referees and 14 assistants have been named for the championship expected to take place in Cameroon. For former referee Mercy Tegokwaku, who is now into full-time coaching, this is an unfortunate development.
It's very unfortunate, very, very painful and ununderstandable, you know, because we have at least very good ones here in Ghana. We have Teresa Bremensu, we have Christine Ziga, those in the middle, Delight Ayohu, and some of the assistants. So I don't really know and understand why they were not called. I don't know what has already transpired in CAF. So actually I can't talk for them, but as a Ghanaian, and the patriotic one, I'm not happy.
The tournament will be held from 19th November to 3rd December 2016 in the Cameroonian cities of Yaoundé and Limbe. Host Cameroon, Egypt, South Africa and Zimbabwe make up Group A, while holders Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya and Mali are in Group B.
Thank you very much for watching from all of us here at Joy News. Join us same time tomorrow. Good night.
This is Joy News Prime.